easily during the time of sitting in between online meetings, another online meeting, and just for the fascination of it, another online meeting from home, you might feel that you probably lost the motivation and think, what am I actually doing here? It all seems to be a bit pointless. The question is, how do you stay motivated in times where it is not as easy as possible, where you can meet people and see people? How do you stay motivated when the whole world around you probably change, and it will change in the future? And many organizations will stay with a remote work location, remote work approach to their office culture. So we asked an expert on that, and we invited her back. Hello and welcome, Pam Burrows, the People Booster.
Hello, Niels.
Thank you very much for taking the time, and I'm getting straight into the topic. What is people boosting? Because it sounds like, is it like streaming, believe in you, motivate? Is it that? Or is it something else?
Well, I have been known to jump up and down shouting loudly, but no, it's really about working out what is it that we need to be well, to be energized, to look after ourselves, and to kind of balance out. There's a lot of emphasis on be the best you and never give up and push on and all of this. And, what I see is a lot of people burning out or being a bit fed up of being pressured into pretending they're okay when they're not. So it's about finding the true motivation, really, about what gives life purpose, what energizes you, and how, when you are motivated, how do you stay well in balance rather than that kind of whole rah-rah thing that you were describing.
Yeah, I think the rah-rah thing works for probably 48 hours, and then you realize you are exactly in the same situation where you were before, and nothing really stays. So when we talk about finding this boost, let's say I have a team in my company and I want to take care of their well-being. But now let's take one situation. Maybe I work in a company where we have a guideline or even a policy which says no on-site meetings until further notice. Do everything online. Is it possible to have this well-being done online?
Well, it's certainly been my business over the pandemic to do exactly that. So I've been doing a variety of things online, including an online spa where I get people to do their own massage and reflexology. We even have a foot spa, get everybody to put their feet in a bucket of bubble bath, and encouraging people to still think about their well-being. One of the things that I'm finding, Niels, and it's been really quite shocking, is the people that I'm talking to now in teams where they have a high pressure job. Sometimes they have high responsibility for other people's well-being, and the pressure's on to still do a good job, but they haven't got that team support or the same kind of management support that they'd normally have. A lot of people working from home, and they're doing things like skipping lunch, not moving all day. So they're staying at their computer, not getting any fresh air, not hydrating, just basically not looking after themselves. And I find when I started my business, I've just gone into the 22 years since I started it. And one of the things that I realized quite quickly is that the way that I scheduled my day, if I was managed by somebody else rather than self-employed, I would be going to a tribunal. I'd be going to the unions and saying, this is unfair amount of hours per day. And, I haven't got good working conditions. And I was putting this pressure on myself. And I think a similar thing is happening for people working from home at the moment. They are being their own worst managers, and they see the pressure coming from the organization. But then they have just unrealistic expectations on themselves and how hard they're working. So I think that's one of the things that managers need to realize now. If we're not meeting in person, people do need help to manage how they to manage themselves and their well-being. But we can do that online. And one of the things that is really, really simple is, if you are still fully online in terms of team meetings and whatever, have the team meetings that you would normally have that are perhaps process driven, perhaps talking about targets, but do the other stuff as well. Make time for people to just have a chat, maybe in smaller groups, or do some of the, like some of the things I do online. I get people moving about, I get them doing self-massage, I get them talking to each other about, how can we buddy up to make sure we have a lunch break or a walk before and after work, those kinds of things. So there is, but it is about thinking more creatively, because of course we might be saying to managers and leaders, hey, you should be looking after your staff better. You should be thinking about these things. But oh my goodness, they are usually the people that are putting their own well-being last of all. So, they need to start from their own experience.
And I think that is a perfect transition to my next question. Let's say you work for an organization and the organization takes care of you or tries to take care of you. However, some people take care of others and they, exactly what you mentioned, forget to take care about themselves. So when we move from what can I do for my organization, what can organizations do for their teams, what can people do for themselves when they say, I feel a bit lonely, I feel a bit lost, and I'm pretty much sitting here, getting up in the morning, talking to different Zoom windows. It all seems to be a bit random and also a bit pointless. So what can people do to keep the motivation and also their physical as well as mental health in a good condition when they really work on their own, especially when they probably live on their own, being single, not having seen people for a long time? What can these people do?
One of the things that's really important is that you work as hard as you can to set something up that is a regular habit, because one of the things that I see a lot is where people start to feel lonely, maybe they become depressed or anxious, is that it's really hard when you're already in a downward spiral to make those good things happen, to have the motivation to get out for a walk or to cook yourself a nice, nutritious meal, those kinds of things. It's hard to even pick up the phone to a very good friend that you really trust if you're feeling down, because you think, oh, they're not going to want to talk to me, or you don't even get to that thought. You just can't even bring yourself to think about what you might do with your situation. So what's really important is that if you're already in that situation, you get somebody to help you set up some good habits. But if you're not quite there yet, then set it up yourself. Start thinking about, right, I'm going to, when I get ready in the morning, I will take a walk around the block as if I'm walking to work before I switch on the computer. Don't pick up your phone while you're even still in bed. I know a lot of people do that. They're literally the first moment their eyes are open, they're checking their phone. They get drawn into things and start working either socially or work stuff straight away on their phone. It just doesn't set your day up right. So it's about right from the first moment, what am I going to do to have some peaceful gathering my thoughts, setting my energy right for the day, right from the beginning. And then how are you going to move during the day? Find something that some people absolutely love the gym. Not a lot. I don't know percentage wise.
I am probably on that side of not a lot. I'm probably on that side. Yeah.
Yeah, me too. But I've just joined a new Zumba class, and Zumba, especially with the teacher we have, she is so full of fun and energy. Great music. It doesn't matter if you're going left when everybody else is going right. We just laugh about it. It's just hilarious. And there's young people. There's young people there and some people who look about 150 and everybody in between. And we just all kind of do the best we can and feel energized by the end of it. I don't know how fit it's getting me because I don't fully, I don't do all the jumping and all of the full thing that everybody else is doing. But I know that it's lifted my spirits. So we need to find a way to move, whether it's dancing or if it's singing with people or on your own. Find the thing that works for you. I have to recommend, actually, this is something that I did years ago and I've just started up again, which is I've got some chickens in the garden and they are just the most entertaining, wonderful pets. And then you get some eggs as well. So we got rescue chickens and we've had them about 10 weeks now, and they've gone from looking oven ready because they'd plucked all their feathers off to being fully feathered and having a lovely time. They've been pootling around the garden this morning, and I have to go and clean them out. So that's physical exercise, but they make me smile. So realizing you need something different. So what's happening for me now is if I'm doing a Zoom session with a team on their well-being and stress reduction, I'll give them a break to go do whatever they need to do in partway through the session. I go out and see my chickens. Honestly, it feels like I'm having a holiday whilst working because they lift my spirits so much. So find the thing, don't think, oh God, she's talking about being fit. I'm going to have to go to the gym. I hate the gym, or I haven't got the motivation to do whatever, But it's about finding what works for you, making it a habit that you then do without thinking about it. You don't want to have to gather your motivation every day. It has to be something that you're looking forward to and that you realize the benefits to yourself, that it's worth doing.
I think these are the perfect final words for this podcast. I think many of us realized that, especially during lockdown, during the pandemic, but even during the time afterwards, where many realized that we're not going to return to the usual normal, seeing everyone in the office pretty much 5 out of 7 days a week, that we need a new approach, create new habits, and take care that we stay happy, that we stay motivated, our physical and mental health stays in the condition as good as it can be. So at the end of this podcast, there's only one thing for me left to say. Pam, thank you very much for your time.
It's been an absolute delight. Thank you. And if any of your listeners want to find me on the internet, you can sign up for a little reminder every morning so that you have somebody giving you a nudge towards all those good things that you really know that are going to make you feel better and motivated.